So today's video was supposed to be my breakdown of the Flash 2022 movie, but then last night I had a power outage, and then today I went to download the files and upload them, but the files got corrupted. Yeah. So instead I decided to move on to the Suicide Squad, which is the video you're about to see now, but don't worry, I am still working on the Flash breakdown and every single breakdown in the coming days. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the Suicide Squad breakdown. Hey there guys, what is up? It's me, Harry Sandbrook, back here with a brand new video, and the Suicide Squad was yet another film revealed at DC Fandome. Now, the director James Gunn, who made the first two Guardians of the Galaxy movies, brought along a roll call video revealing which actors will play which roles, and a behind-the-scenes look at the film. And I'm here to break it all down for you and tell you about all the new characters we will meet in the Suicide Squad. And spoiler warning, just in case any of my predictions in this video turn out to be true. So, let's get started. We first see a mysterious structure with a blue screen, which implies there's more to this structure than meets the eye. We then see a few members of the squad trekking up a slope. Now, these silhouettes are hard to make out, but one of them seems to be a female, perhaps Harley Quinn, and the other one in the back is obviously King Shark. We then see the interior of a building with some interesting architecture, which could also be the same location shown here and later on in this trailer. But what's more interesting here is the wall of weapons. Some say this is a converted armory for soldiers fighting, maybe freedom fighters. Another shot shows a jungle camp, which is somewhat reminiscent of 70s war films inspired by the Vietnam War. This could support the theory that the Suicide Squad has been sent in to support a rebel movement in this mysterious country, and that they are allied with guerrilla forces who are attempting to overthrow the current government, as we do see later on in some shots. Next we see a ruined laboratory. Now this could be a lab on the island, maybe even inside this mysterious structure. This could be part of the squad's mission, because maybe the government there is running dangerous experiments of some kind. The next shot shows a mysterious red chemical. Now, it is unclear whether this chemical belongs to the US or this mysterious country. Now, if it's in the US, this could be a new way they're trying to keep the squad in line. But if it's part of the other country, this could be part of their mischievous experiments. On to the next clip.
It's gonna surprise people.
Joel Kinnaman is coming back as Colonel Rick Flag and must have been re-recruited by Amanda Waller, played again by Viola Davis, to lead her new Suicide Squad team. We then get a shot of who looks to be Blackguard, played by Pete Davidson, walking towards armed soldiers on the beach. We do see shots of this later on. Maybe he's distracting them before a fight breaks out, which we also do see later on in the trailer. We then get a glimpse of Savant, played by Michael Rooker. Maybe in the same moment Blackguard is walking towards the soldiers and looking over a mound on the beach. On to the next clip.
How did they do that?
We see Bloodsport, played by Idris Elba, Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie, and Polka Dot Man, played by David Dastmalchian, running underground, most likely in the same unknown structure we saw at the beginning. We then get a shot of the squad emerging from the ocean onto the beach, which we come back to later on in the trailer, but this time with a lot more explosions, and this would be the same place where Blackguard is leading the charge trying to distract them. We then get a quick shot of Harley, Polka Dot Man, Bloodsport, and who looks to be Ratcatcher 2, played by Daniel Melchior, in a village. We get a close-up shot of Polka Dot Man, and then a shot of Savant in a prison uniform, most likely in Belrave Prison, and a shot of Bloodsport with Peacemaker in the background. On to the next shot.
It's going to be different from any superhero movie ever made.
We get this interesting shot of Harley Quinn dual-wielding pistols, shooting what looks to be two different types of enemies, soldiers in camo and special ops in black. We get a glimpse of Polka Dot Man throwing something in a group of soldiers surrounding him, maybe a grenade or one of his polka dots, and then we see a van crashing, probably transporting the squad or another high-value character for the film. On to the next clip.
There's no one better in the world to direct the Suicide Squad than James Gunn.
We see a shot of Harley on the beach with an RPG, maybe getting bored with Blackguard trying to negotiate with the soldiers and deciding to start the firefight from earlier with one rocket. We also get a glimpse of Mongol, played by Mei Ling Ying. We then see a bunch of explosions. We also then get a glimpse of Ratcatcher 2 with a bright van maybe even in the same location as the squad crash, coming to pick them up, maybe as a fun little gag for the film. We then see James Gunn walking with Blackguard, Mongol, Javelin, played by Fula Borg, Captain Boomerang, played by Jai Courtney, and TDK, a practice walk for their walk later in this trailer in front of the American flag. We then get a glam shot of John Cena's Peacemaker outfit, along with a look at Nathan Fillion's TDK, the detachable kid. We then get this great shot here of King Shark, Ratcatcher 2, Rick Flag, Bloodsport, Harley Quinn with Javelin's Javelin, Peacemaker, Peter Capaldi's Thinker, Polka Dot Man, and a mysterious character at the end who could just be another member of the team who is hard to make out. It looks like there's palm trees behind them, so this is taking place maybe after the encounter on the beach or in a shot later on in the film. And then we see soldiers getting blown back maybe after an explosion, and we do see a couple more shots of this later on. On to the next clip.
I was excited with an opportunity to be able to do the Suicide Squad in the way it could be done from my point of view.
We get a shot of Peacemaker attacking a soldier, and then a look at other inmates of Belle Rave. We see Peacemaker and Amanda Waller walking down the stairs. Some of the other inmates are hard to make out, but I think she could be going around the prison, picking out the best people for the op. We get a shot of Peacemaker watching as a guy is burning in the jungles, and maybe in that camp from the beginning. Savant in his cell, a spinning gold and black gun which could belong to Blackguard, seeing as he holds a similar weapon in the roll call video. Javelin having some fun on set. And if you look closely in the background of this picture, you can see Sean Gunn wearing a motion capture suit for his role as Weasel, which we see a better look at later on. And Bloodsport aiming his gun at someone, maybe there is unease around the campfire with another member of the team, and it wouldn't be a Suicide Squad movie without that unease. On to the next clip.
This one is completely unique. This is a gritty 1970s war movie, combined with brilliance of James Gunn's characters and costumes.
We see Savant emerge from the back of a truck, most likely at the same location as the American flag walk and where they will be picked up. Harley emerging from a bus in the same dress as we saw her in earlier while it's raining, and Ratcatcher 2 under debris after an explosion, most likely the same explosion from earlier. We see Harley stabbing a soldier with Javelin's Javelin, and I gotta be honest guys, with how much we're seeing her holding the Javelin in this trailer more than Javelin himself, I feel like he could be one of the characters killed off sometime before the final act. We then get a voiceover from Peter Safran saying,
"This is a gritty 1970s war movie, combined with brilliance of James Gunn's characters and costumes."
And judging by all the explosions in this movie, I have no doubt about it. On to the next clip.
You need your director to set the vibe.
The Suicide Squad is just a twisted fantasy of characters.
We then get a glam shot of Rick Flag, Bloodsport, and Harley Quinn, with then Harley outside of what looks to be the same hotel building from earlier based on the exterior, and her daddy's little monster tattoo on her chest, which is what is said on her shirt in the first film. We then get that shot of the giant structure that I talked about earlier. Now this is an actual building in Panama, which is part of Viero, the ruins of the old city of Panama, and based on the front, this could be the same building we see at the beginning, but here with the blue screen, they're using it for an action sequence. We then see the prominent shot of some of the team walking in front of the American flag. These characters include Weasel, played by Sean Gunn, Blackguard, Mongol, Javelin, Captain Boomerang, TDK, Savant, and Rick Flag. We then get a quick shot of Harley, Bloodsport, and Ratcatcher 2 in what looks to be the same rubble as we saw earlier, but on the outside of the explosion. We then get this fun shot of Poker and Steve Age doing the robot, but notice the costume Age is wearing. It was confirmed that he would be doing the motion capturing for King Shark, but we don't know who's voicing the character. But my theory is that it's Taika Waititi, seeing as his role is not confirmed in this film, and based on his history of playing Korg in the MCU, he would be amazing doing the voice for King Shark. We then see the group taking a pic together with a better look at Stephen Age's motion capture suit and the Thinker. On to the next clip.
Within each of our characters, there's a certain beauty. Within most of them. Some of them are just pretty crappy through and through.
Be like a douchey Captain America.
The guy who believes in peace at any cost, no matter how many people he needs to kill along the way.
Okay, I got it.
We then see a shot of John Economos, played by Steve Aig, Jennifer Holland playing Amelia Harcourt, and Tanashi Kajisi playing Flo Crawley, accompanied by Amanda Waller. We see our first shot of Sol Soria, played by Alice Braga, with Rick Flag, maybe joining the team after the firefight in the campsite. We then get a look at TDK maybe reattaching or detaching one of his limbs, seeing as that's what he's able to do, and another angle of Blackguard walking towards the soldiers, and a shot of Harley after an explosion, maybe seeing one of her team die in the process. And then we get a closer shot of Weasel screaming at another inmate. We then get this interesting look at Peacemaker. We first see him fighting a soldier in the reflection of his helmet, and in the comics he wears the large helmet believing that the people he's killed stay as spirits in there, providing him console and support in his pursuits. We then see him raising his hand, most likely asking a question during the briefing of the mission, and then we see him fighting soldiers and him and Bloodsport entering the camp from earlier. On to the next shot.
Don't ever settle back like you think you know where this is going, cuz you don't.
As soon as you have some sense about what's about to happen next, James comes in.
We then see someone get pushed into the water with Savant there as well, most likely after their deployment shown later, and this could be a character who doesn't really want to jump. We see Ratcatcher 2 with the little girl. We don't know the context, but maybe she's showing her ability to command rats. We then see what looks like Rick Flag and Peacemaker getting into a fight, maybe in some sort of underground interrogation area based on the table and chair that are there. And then we see soldiers, guns drawn, maybe either allies or enemies of the Suicide Squad. It is unclear because we can't see who they're aiming at, but based on the stone structure behind them, this is taking place in the same location that we saw the giant structure earlier and the structure with the blue screen earlier on as well. Now, if you look at their shirts, you can see that there's a flag embroidered on it. Now, this flag does not exist either in real life or in the DC comics, so this must be a new fictional place that will be shown in the film and introduced into the DC universe. We then get an action shot of Harley fighting guards or soldiers inside the building that she was outside earlier. It even has the same flooring as the building with the guns, so this could be the same location. Harley, Bloodsport and Polka Dot Man in a flooded room, which we later see and might be caused by the explosion. Savant looking over a sand mound on the beach with bright lights flickering. This could be gunfire or another weapon of some kind. Harley jumping and running with the javelin and a transport van swerving, and huge explosions on the beach, maybe caused by Harley and her RPG or that helicopter in the sky. We then see another explosion inside the building, which could be the same building we saw Harley, Bloodsport and Polka Dot Man in earlier. And then a ton of soldiers being bounced back the same way from earlier shots in the warehouse. On to the next clip.
Everyone's exploding. Genitals, heads, arms, legs.
It's like a big, massive graphic novel brought to life.
This is by far the biggest movie I've ever made.
We see explosion after explosions in buildings, outside the mysterious building, and on a road somewhere else, with Flula saying,
Everyone's exploding. Genitals, heads, arms, legs.
suggesting this film will very well be rated R, and I am all here for it. And then we get more shots of soldiers getting flung. We see a shot of Bloodshot with Ratcatcher 2 behind him looking up at something, maybe their pickup or something even worse than what they've encountered. Bloodsport getting run over by water. Rick Flag, and who might be Ratcatcher 2, being buried under debris from the explosion, which explains why we see her under rubble earlier on. A more cinematic look at Blackguard with someone hiding behind a rock for the surprise attack, and Harley running through explosions. On to the next clip.
That you know what to expect.
We see Polka Dot Man in action blowing his variety of polka dots, which in the comics can be used as different weapons and vehicles. Bloodsport standing next to him, and Harley probably joining them later on before the explosions and floods happen. A better look at King Shark eating a man in the camp, or at least about to before maybe being stopped. That explosion that happened earlier with the soldiers, Harley saving Polka's life from maybe the same or different explosion in the building. Polka Dot Man, Peacekeeper, Bloodsport, and Ratcatcher 2 opening one of the tents, the team deploying into the ocean where they would then meet on the beach. And then we see Javelin with what looks like the Thinker or Blackguard jumping first, Peacekeeper following behind. A quick shot of Harley entering the same room where she kills all the soldiers, but notice the tattoo on her back saying property of no one. This tattoo has been changed because before it said property of Joker, which shows her character growth and shows that her and Joker are still broken up. On to the next clip.
Don't get too attached. This has been truly the greatest, most exciting journey of my life making this film.
We see Bloodsport get knocked back by an explosion in the same room he is in with Polka Dot Man and Harley. And maybe this is the same explosion that Harley saves Polka Dot Man from, but Bloodsport is just a little late to dodge. We then get another look at Mongol and Captain Boomerang in action, throwing some literally, boomerangs, which could imply that he has new weapons that have some interesting new attributes.
We can also see here that Savant is in the same position as we saw him earlier behind the sand mound, and it looks as though that the lights that were shining off of his face are the same lights being emitted from Captain Boomerang's new boomerangs.
We then see some action shots with the Peacekeeper and Rick Flag emerging from the van with Savant from the shot earlier. We then get more shots of Harley kicking butt and this interesting action shot of the squad running towards the camera, maybe put somewhere in the final battle or even just a promotional picture. We then see this same shot of the group walking towards something in the rain, but we see that they are walking towards the stone structure in the unknown nation. We then get a front shot of Blackguard probably yelling at the soldiers.
We then get another angle of the walk with Sean Gunn in his motion capture suit, Mongol, Javelin, Captain Boomerang and TDK.
Bloodsport jumping off debris.
Another glam shot of the squad.
Blackguard in his prison attire. Harley with some M4s shooting up, maybe providing suppressive fire towards an enemy that's chasing her and the fellow squad members. A back view of some of the squads walking towards a V-22 Osprey. More carnage outside the mysterious stone location.
Harley kicking butt once more.
And more explosion leading up to the title.
Cut, that was great.
Now, while the Suicide Squad could just be sent to help a rebel force, the question is why? And this could lead to the reveal of the big bad of the film being none other than the rumoured Starro the Conqueror. Now, Starro the Conqueror in the comics was the first villain the Justice League of America faced. Its physical appearance is that of a giant starfish containing millions of similar drones that latch onto a host and control its mind. In a few of these shots from the trailer, we can see soldiers with some sort of pink thing latched onto their faces, kind of like how Starro's starfishes do the exact same thing to control their hosts. So, I think Starro comes to Earth, makes base in this mysterious South American nation, and using these starfish drones, takes control of soldiers and thereby taking over the nation, which then leads to the assemblement of the new Suicide Squad. Thank you guys so much for watching my breakdown of the Suicide Squad behind the scenes trailer. Make sure you guys leave in the comments below any details that I might have missed that you spotted and comment your thoughts on this film. Make sure to like, subscribe, favorite, and tune in tomorrow where I'll be breaking down the Flash 2022 movie, and I'll see you guys in the next video.